Hey, welcome back to the Real Estate Excellence Podcast. Your host, Tracy Hayes. Today's guest is the wisest of the two owners of one of Northeast Florida's fastest growing real estate brokerages. Her husband told me that was so, and he is her partner. So we're safe with that statement. They have discovered a better way of running a real estate company. She graduated magna cum laude from Virginia Tech in 2013. Her brokerage has assembled some of the best experience as well as mentored so very young, inexperienced agents to high levels. Let's welcome the competitive advantage of Momentum Realty, Brittany Brooks, to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm so excited.
I am excited you're here because John said you're like tenfold him and his show was great. So this should really boost my ratings here with you on here. But
I'm ready.
I am so excited, and obviously appreciate you coming in early today to speak to our loan officer team here. And what you and John are doing are different. Obviously, you're doing something right. You're as you'll speak of, you're recruiting, and some of the agents, and obviously some of them I've had on the show, and I'm watching the production of some of the semi-experienced, and then some of them had no experience whatsoever, and they've really reached high levels so quickly.
It's so cool to watch.
Yes.
It is so cool to watch.
I'm going to call out to Madison Beal one more time while we're on the show. Madison, you need to get on. I watched her interview. John did an interview with her, and I told her that. I said, wow, when I was listening to her, I was like, I got to have that girl on the show. I'm really...
I'm so proud of her.
Yes, yes. So start off, just get kicked off here a little bit. Where are you from?
So that's a loaded question. Military family, and but majority of my life lived in Tallahassee, Florida. Some family changes led me to move to Washington, D.C. area in high school. So I was, in Tallahassee from age 6 to 16. Stonebridge High School in Northern Virginia, Ashburn area.
Oh, okay.
Ashburn, Virginia.
Yeah. Well, I was in so you graduated.
So 09 was my high school graduation
I was in Northern Virginia. I lived in Centerville.
Okay.
From about 93 to 99-ish. And one of the things, I referee sports. I still referee football. But I think I've done some basketball games at Stonebridge High School.
Yeah.
If I recall. And Ashburn was growing. That was the place that was, the builders, and the company my cousin and I owned, we were, involved in all that new construction, the townhomes going up left and right. And I can't imagine what those houses cost today. But.
It's unexplainable now to see what's happened from farmland to a major city. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So you decided to go to Virginia Tech, not Florida State.
I did. Yeah. Actually, that was on my mind to go to Florida State. There were some private schools that I was looking at, but I decided to save my money, go in-state tuition, and do that route instead. I love, so that's actually something to be mindful of when I think back to my decision. I remember debating between UVA, which was like the esteemed place to go, right? That's where all the smart people went. And I remember going to the Virginia Tech campus and being so torn because I knew that UVA was where I was supposed to go. But Virginia Tech, it had the environment, the feel, the community, and I couldn't get it out of my heart when I met the people and did the tour.
Yes.
And I remember my dad's always been in my ear of where do you think you'll have the most fun? You can be successful anywhere, but where will you have the most fun? And you'll do the right thing. You'll make the right decision. I remember avoiding UVA because it was where everybody was telling me that I should go, and I went to Virginia Tech, and
That's
it
exactly
changed
why
everything.
Well, I had different reasons why I chose my college, slightly different. But one thing, it had to be the road less traveled, to me, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I consider myself a person who travels the road less traveled. Most people look at me oddly sometimes. Someone tells me everybody's going there. That's probably not where I want to go.
My personality wants to go, the group. That's where we're told you're supposed to go, right? And so that's the trend for a lot of things in our life.
And you took the road less traveled, and it's made all the difference.
All the difference.
That's right. Okay.
Well, so it was a state school, public. Everybody went there, but I knew that there was quality people, quality education still. And I said, there's another way. Right. There's another way it can be done.
So, at this point, because you're a young person in general. I can say that because how old I am. So you are a young person at this point in time, because this wasn't 14 years ago, 12, 13, 14 years ago, 15 years ago.
Freaks me out.
Yeah. So at that time, you're going into school. What is your vision of like what you want to do? Did you know what you wanted to major in, or what was your?
So I knew I loved math. I was good at math, and yet I avoided engineering because it was a men's world. And for some reason, that was a story I told myself, if I don't see myself there as a woman, which that's a whole issue with STEM that we can talk about like another day with women and like opportunities and seeing ourselves in that role. But I was good at math. And so I went into the business school and went into accounting. And it all led itself into someone saying, well, you're really good at these. And people were failing out of accounting tests and I was acing them. And so I remember,
that makes you feel good.
You follow the mentors like, you should think about this. And, but what you quickly learn is that what you're really good at may not necessarily be what makes you happy. So
I aced a business law class. It's just a kind of an elective that I took.
Yeah.
And I remember when I handed in my final exam, as I walked by the professor, he said, you should consider being a lawyer. That's what he said to me. I'm like, I had thought about it, but I didn't want to go do another, 3 more years of school either.
Exactly.
I barely got through the 4 years that I had. Unlike you.
I love
summa cum laude.
I would do school for
magna
free.
cum laude.
Yeah.
Magna cum laude.
Fun fact, I will say this to the universe right now. I was 0.1 away from SUMA, which is a 3.9 GPA, and it kills me to this day. Like, that's 2 questions.
What extra credit? What extra credit could I have done?
I know. I remember going to the teacher being like, is there anything I could do?
I'm going to play this clip for my daughter. I'm going to tell you, right? You were 0.1 away. She had an 89.5, and I kept telling her, go in and ask the teacher for extra credit. Well, they don't allow that. Yeah. I don't care. Ask her, what do you need to do to get that thing to the 90? And they still that was the only B class she had. Now she's in she'll be in 3rd grade this year, but I was like, you just got to ask,
sometimes you put the ask out there, but then also the right mentors that say like, it may not matter in the future, hint, hint. Like, you're doing what you're supposed to do. And I'll tell you from the other side of things that it doesn't make a difference.
No, it doesn't. But it does
put
put you
something to me at the time.
Exactly. It's I think it's so important for our young people and again, to have accomplished things. And this is a notch that someone that can never take away from you. Yeah. In my opinion.
It's true.
So I assume this is why you were at college. VP of Efficiency with the Alpha, Kappa, Psi, and Beta Xi chapter.
You went deep.
What is the VP of Efficiency? Did we relate that to today in Momentum?
Yeah. So actually, now that you bring it up, there are trends now that I'm laughing about. So, AK Psi was a business fraternity, a co-ed business fraternity. It's actually where I met John, now my husband. Over the beer pong table. So, hey, college is not always a waste.
So even the magna cum laude girls hang out at the beer pong table.
Yeah, they do. We have some fun every now and then. But VP of Efficiency, it basically was the operational role, right? So I made sure the train ran smoothly. Everybody was doing what they were supposed to do. We talked earlier about systems and processes, like what can we put in place to make this a smooth running train and not have hiccups. And so now when I'm looking at that, things make sense in my strength zone. So,
all right. So you became a CPA. You got, I guess, licensed CPA, certified.
You're
certified
a licensed
as a
CPA,
public accountant. And you went. Did Ernst & Young recruit you right out of?
They did. So I actually got an internship my junior year. So I had a job a year ahead coming out of school, which was amazing. Just a huge sigh of relief. And so Ernst & Young. It was a huge resume booster for me. I remember being so proud of that. It was a Big 4 accounting firm. You're all excited.
Were you working in DC?
Yeah, so right outside. So you have different clients and consulting gigs that you have to do, like that are in different regions out. But it was all outside of DC. But I did actually travel a lot my first year.
Oh,
I was in Seattle. I was in Chicago. I actually came to Jacksonville. So some radars were on our mind.
Was that something that Ernst & Young did? Like I was mentioning my wife earlier, she worked for Altel and they bounced her around to get to know the greater corporation. Was that something where you got a little bit of taste of?
Yeah, so it was typically a local company that had divisions. So I was actually an auditor. So I had to go out and review financial statements and operations and walk through their processes. And so now I'm having all these like aha moments of like what led me to what I'm doing today, but that I didn't think about. And this is like a journal moment. But and so they all had divisions that you got flown out to. And at the time, no kids. I'm I mean, I'm dating John. I live in a
probably have the
small
company
sunroom
card
apartment,
or-
so I'm getting put up in hotels, and I don't have to stay in my apartment that I share with 4 girls just to afford it in the city. And so it was super fun, an amazing time.
Ernst & Young, no. Now, in the 90s, I remember a girlfriend I had when I was in Virginia, one of her friends worked for Ernst & Young. They are very strict. Like, don't get sunburned. That was one of the things you could not, like, I mean, they were like what they.
Oh, I don't think that's the case anymore.
Yeah, I would imagine they've loosened up with the times.
Yeah.
Well, at that time, I mean, they were like, you had to, I'm sure the men had to wear certain ties, that whole kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, the conduct is very professional. It's a very professional environment, discipline, just a hard work ethic. That's where I got my work ethic from, besides just it being part of me, but they teach you how to work hard.
Yeah.
May not be super smart sometimes with efficiencies, but that's just because I pay attention to that. But definitely the work ethic of staying till midnight and doing what you're supposed to do for the team, corralling around the team, and getting the job done.
Okay. So you meet John while you're at Virginia Tech.
Yes.
All right. But if I recall, and I didn't write this in my notes, you guys didn't get married till like 2017? Is that?
No,
No,
yeah.
was it early?
So we met 2010. We were dating, got engaged 2015, got married 2017.
Okay,
Yeah.
17 was correct. Okay.
And
Now,
I got into real estate before we got married.
He clearly says he married up because he's smart. Well, you married down then.
No.
So, no, I'm messing.
Oh, John.
He set himself up for that. So
Yeah,
I had to, yes.
We married our partner, our partner that complements where each other have gaps, and we're very aware of the differences in our personalities, the differences in our skills, and it just creates this amazing team.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, because I consider, having spent an hour with John and talking, and even afterwards, between talking and text messaging after the show, and then, looking at your credentials and so forth, and how much he spoke of you, I mean, both of you are on a very high level, in my opinion. I've one of the things I've noticed with the podcast, there's some people I've had in here that I can feel like this energy from them. Okay. And you guys are, you're both in your very young 30s, outstanding education credentials, and did stuff at a high level at a very young age. So just it's because both of you have to have, I would assume, some sort of A personalities.
Yeah, I think it goes deeper than that. So I think a couple of people have touched on this show. What we corral around at Momentum is finding your strengths and really figuring out who you are to lead from ease, excellence, and enjoyment. And when you do so, like, you become your own superhuman, right? Like, everything's easy to you, everything's excelling at a high level, and you're actually happy waking up every day. And John and I have realized in doing this personality profiling, the reason we've stayed together and that we probably don't get a divorce is because we both are achiever learner personalities. So we are constantly, like, even when the going gets tough, like, we keep at it, like, for the goal, for the mission. That's the achiever, like, always wanting more, like, striving for more even when it gets tough. And then learner is you're curious, so that's where the personal development comes in. We're always reading, wanting to better ourselves, and just going to conferences. And we are very aware that as a partnership, if one of us didn't have that, we'd probably leave the other behind. And so we stay with each other, even though the bottom personality profile is very different. I have high empathy, high relationship, very high emotional intelligence. He's a high D. So he's like, if you're in my way, I'm going to steamroll you, right? Where I'm like, well, hold on. Like, I'm HR, right? Like, I'm like, let's like make sure. Yeah. I'm 100% I, he's 100% D. Yeah. And so it may not work in a normal relationship, but we very, very aware. So Gallup Strength Finders, we coach around this. We bring in people because everybody does. There's so many ways to do real estate, and everybody can do it so differently. And you don't have to be comparing yourself to other people. Like, that's the only way to do it. So, like, what works for you? And so Strength Finders is a huge core of ours at Momentum.
He gave me that link, and I was thinking about every time I think. I know I wanted to do it right away, but every time I think about it, I get distracted by something.
Send it to us.
I have to do it. I'm really curious. Of that, because you guys, because Jennifer and I are both, we're I mean, we met at work.
Yeah.
So we have this obviously we worked at the same place, so talking shop, and we saw eye to eye on a lot of different things, which created. Now she's a realtor and I'm a loan officer, so there's some clashes sometimes.
And that's okay.
Honey, it's not that way.
Yeah.
It's not doesn't exactly happen that way. All right, so John jumps into real estate early.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Because it's I think we're 15 when he jumps in. And late 14, 15 when he jumps into real estate. You come in a little
2015. Later. And I had just switched jobs to my investment bank at the time. And, after about a year, through his own struggles and, it got us out of debt because I was the W-2 job supporting the real estate venture, right? Mm-hmm. We needed the income to come in and support us. So I was like, I'll provide a stable foundation. I'll give, personally, I was like, I'll give you 3 months. I was like, come on back to corporate. This is what you've been built to do. Come on back to finance. But I'll let you do this experiment. Right. Mm-hmm. And it took off. I'm not surprised thinking back. But at the time, our family too, they're like, you're going to leave your prestigious investment banking career that you've worked hard and finance degree to go be a real estate agent.
Safe salary and benefits. Yeah.
So a lot of stereotypes we had to overcome. And then I went into it and I was like, oh my God, my parents are going to kill me.
Did you ever really doubt him? You just all right, he's just going to taste it. He probably won't end up liking it. It wasn't that he couldn't do it.
It wasn't that he couldn't do it. So I didn't doubt him. I doubted, with John, it's a shiny object syndrome, right? Okay. So he has to go explore.
He's male.
Right. So it's the shiny object syndrome. And sometimes it sticks, right? But if he goes after enough things, it's going to work, right? So I didn't doubt him at all. If anything, I was like, go do it. This is the time in our lives to do it. We don't have kids at the time. We're not even married. We just bought our first house. But in my mind, I'm like, even if we split up, we can separate our assets. It's fine. If this totally fails and this person can't make it, but I didn't believe that would happen. He puts his mind to something and it just becomes extreme. John is a person of extremes, so you have to be able to deal with that.
I'm going to touch on something here because this reminds me of my wife and I, because there was some stuff that did as we were in that dating, not married stage yet, and did this impress you enough to say, maybe, this maybe is my guy. He's
No, marriage was not on my radar at all.
Well, I mean, his success as the real estate agent in 2000 impressed you that, hey, he put his mind to something and he's
I knew. I mean, he'd had that trend, going through school, so soccer state champions, right? Mm-hmm. Summa cum laude, and I was pissed at him because it was, 0.1 away from where I was. So we're very competitive, and I know that he's going to.
He asked for the extra credit.
Yeah, he asked for the extra credit. And anything he had done, right? He had to convince me that it was going to work to buy a home, right? That the numbers got rid of the emotion and the fear of what are we doing? And so he's always been the vision in our relationship, and I'm the integrator. So he can see my blind spots and our weaknesses, and he's like, no, this is going to work. He can see past the point of fear. Mm-hmm. He sees beyond it. Of what the potential is, which is amazing to have as a leader in our organization too.
Anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere. In life, marriage.
Anywhere. So I think if I go back to your timeline, because you had me change the questions.
It's okay.
So you joined him in
2017.
Okay.
It was about a year and a half, 2 years later.
So what is it that goes on in your life that causes you to dive in here into the Brooks? What do you call it? You guys call it the Brooks Group, right?
The Brooks Group, right.
The Brooks Group at KW at the time. What jumps you out over to his?
So he had been tapping me, he saw his first year of success. He had broken a code in a sense. He had sold 66, 65 homes in his first year. And he's like, okay, this is working, right? And then you get to the point where you can't handle it all on your own. And you have to bring in leverage. And you have to build out a team if you want to maintain the same level of production without losing your mind.
If you keep hitting on the thing that you're really good at.
Yeah.
And you want to 10X that, right? Here's my book.
Yeah.
10 not my book, Cardano's. He wanted to 10X what he was really good at.
Yep. So he wanted to 10X it and go into listings. Listings were his jam. He needed a buyer's agent. At the time we were getting coached around building out a team. What does that look like? Specialization of roles, going back to strength finders. And this is before we even took the test. And it brings a lot of clarity to say what gets you excited every day? What are you, and we were talking about this earlier with the tribe. Why are you waking up? What's your purpose that you're going to get excited your power, your discipline, or, you know, you're in frustration, like what's going to move you? And it's getting up and knowing like, I'm excited to do this. I enjoy doing it and I'm good at it. So he had been tapping me, I believe, because, well, he couldn't do it on his own. And I loved my job. This was what I was going to do. I wanted to stay. I loved the people. I did not want to leave necessarily. And then he showed me the financial model and he said, look at what, because this is where he comes in. Mm-hmm. Look at what, I'm the safe foundation. And then he's like, but look what we can do. Look at what we can do, right? Like make sure all your ducks are in a row. And he's like, but look what we can do together. Because I hadn't seen the numbers, and the numbers and the data will help you overcome fear, right? And he's like, but look what's possible.
Right.
And at the time, all I see is working for myself, and I've worked for my, you know, W-2 job. And I'm like, this is what I went to school for. I'm not going to give this up. I'm not going to give up my CPA. I spent all summers doing this. But yeah, so it was him saying, look at what's possible, showing me the data to overcome the emotion. And then that's when I decided to come and be the buyer's agent on the team, on Brooks Group team.
So we're going to fast forward a little bit for time purposes, because I know some of the key points that you want to get into. One of the things that John, if you want to call it, preached a little bit, you and I were talking even late last night about how focused you guys are at Momentum. And yes, we want numbers, but we want you to be profitable. The term profitability has come up. How are you, and probably I imagine on a daily basis, your background in accounting and being an auditor with Ernst & Young, how have you taken that experience, that knowledge, that area that you're comfortable with, and used it in creating your Momentum model, and obviously using that to recruit agents to show them how much more profitable they can be with you?
Yeah. So when we were in business together, we did almost 40 million as a duo, two sales agents. And we were a top sales team at Keller Williams. And what we noticed is all of the other top teams that we were in the room with, John was in Gary Keller's, top 100 room. And when we got down to the nitty gritty, they weren't profitable. And yet, we're doing a quarter of the sales.
Were you actually seeing their numbers, or just knowing what their numbers are and doing some math?
We did dig into them. So we got into the conversations of, well, what are their pain points? Just like networking and how profitable is your business, right? Because that's what you should be striving for. They're doing all these sales and they're on stage and they're being praised and they're getting the accolades. And yet they're on the verge of bankruptcy, or they're making money, but they're a solo agent and their lives are terrible, right? Like it's all the hustle. They couldn't get out of it. And we experienced the same thing, right? Like we hit our cap at 40 million. I think it was let's just call it like 150 families, right? That John and I did. And we were at our peak and we're like, how is anybody doing this without completely breaking down? They're getting shingles. Their health is deteriorating. Right. Like, there's no way you can keep this up. Right. We had our daughter, and then that threw all the priorities out the window, because you can't run that level of sales business. And so when we were looking at these people, we're like, something's wrong here. Why are these the ones being praised? And that's honestly the mission and the vision that we took when we created Momentum, is like, what if there's a different conversation? What if you can do a quarter or a half of the sales, but you're making more money and you're more profitable than these people that are doing thousands, and their lives are so stressful and they're managing all these people. It's chaos.
Give us, and I know you have an audience out here today, or will, as this is recontented out. Give me an example of something where they are doing all these numbers, but really because they're blowing money over here or mismanaging, or what, I don't know what it is. What was it that they were doing that it was all just show on numbers and really not being profitable? Where was the money going? Where is it?
So it's two things. It is spending money on the showy things that don't matter to your life, aren't going to provide you value. It's an instant feeling and gratification, right? Like buying the shiny cars. And Yasha knows, she's made this very public. We talk about this, is the BMW adding value to your life over the Honda Pilot? Right. Probably not, but your payment is 3 times as much. Right. No one cares about your car. Right. You feel good in it. That's great, maybe. But at the end of the day, if you pass away, no one's going to remember what car you had.
When you're a teenager, that's important.
You're trying to pick up society's got the values off. Yeah. And we're trying to change that of what really matters is your profit, your lifestyle, and your health. Right? Those should be the 3 pillars. And why is this industry not focusing on that? Right? And so you're coming in, you're saying, okay, two things that I wanted to bring up. the material items that don't add value to
a
your
lot
life.
of personal things, it sounds like. Cars are, to me,
Right,
personal.
that are, it's like
it's not adding any value. No one rides around with a Realtor anymore.
Right, like no one's going to remember what car you drive, right? If you pass away tomorrow, no one's going to remember that you had this shiny car. The second is putting their ego aside and knowing when it's time to let go. Like saying, I need to hire someone. I can't do this all on my own. And we see a lot of people who are like, I can do it better than other people. And I was the same way. John was the same way, right?
They reach a lid.
You reach a ceiling and there's another way, right? And you're asking the right question of like, who can I give an opportunity to? And what if they're actually better than me, right? Like we really preach the showing agent model. And I loved being a buyer's agent. You know, I have served a lot of families and for a long time, I felt like, I have to do it all. I have to be the person that does it all. Like I want to be the savior. I want to be the hero to this. But what if you could explode and 10x your business by bringing in a couple key players that like their specialty is XYZ. And then you completely skyrocket and you grow and you help more families because you were willing to step outside of yourself and hire a specialist. And that's what we see is like people can have a change, but they don't see past themselves.
These, we mentioned the DISC assessment, and then you mentioned the other one that John sent me. What's the name of that one?
The Strength Finders?
Gallup
Strength Finders.
Strength Finders.
Yeah.
I think, and I know because I catch this, and I want you to see if you agree with me. Most of us see ourselves and assume everyone else has the same thoughts, drives, or vision.
Yeah.
But they don't.
No.
And these tests will oftentimes strengthen why somebody likes to, do administrative type work, why someone who might be good at cold calling versus someone else, or knocking on doors,
cold calling.
Whatever they're really good at. And then the one thing, John, intrigued me about the Strength Finders was it finds out so you can 10x what you're good at, what you love doing. And I think there was a third thing.
What you enjoy doing. So ease, excellence, and enjoyment.
Ease, excellence, enjoyment.
Becomes easy to you naturally.
And just go and focus on that. And it's changed some people's business from what.
Oh my gosh, we get momentum agents that come and they're like, I'm doing this, but I get so much anxiety. Like, I don't want to make the calls. I don't want to be a listing agent. We're asking the right questions, right? Like we're coming in as business consultants because that's our background. We're advisors and consultants.
And that's what a broker should be to the agents that they're recruiting, is to be their first coach.
Not just like filling a quota and putting bodies in the door. It's like, no, what can we do together? What can we see that your blind spots that'll elevate your business and elevate your life? And it's so frustrating. Like, just to see some of the team leaders they've never done it themselves, or they're on the wrong values, they have the wrong mission, and that's what we're doing differently.
Or the ones that just immediately come in, they haven't even been there 10 days being a real estate agent, and they have a vision. Oh, I'd love to be like John and Brittany, but they have to actually go through the steps.
Right.
There is you're not going to end up there in 6 months. I mean, I can't say it can happen. The likelihood is it's not reality. But taking these tests
can happen
really
in 5 years.
Yeah, anything. But taking these tests and exploiting what you're good at, because you could go years and years and years doing a bunch of stuff you didn't like doing. If you really just were consistent in what you love doing.
Yep.
You may have started off slower, but all of a sudden you would have shot up.
Correct. Right? You could put 99% of the effort into developing your weaknesses, because society tells us that's what we need to do, right? In our performance reports and in corporate and in school, right? But it's like, if you just focus that little bit of effort into what you're good at, it can
and what you enjoy getting out of bed with every day. You go, I get to do this today.
Correct.
And you love it, and it makes you money, which makes it even better.
Yeah, and the joy on the momentum agent's face when we're like, you should try this. And they go out and they troubleshoot it and they try it. And we're like, okay, come back. Let's have a feedback loop. Let's see if it's working. And they're overjoyed. Like, no one's brought that to light before. It's like, well, just do this, right? Just do this. This is what everybody else is doing.
That's what a good coach does.
Yeah. What if it can be different?
You said there was two things. I don't know if we went. You said one thing was people buying. They have a little bit of success and they go out and blow their money on some expensive, bigger house, fancier car, whatever, and load themselves up with personal expenses to show everybody they've made it, I guess, in my eyes. But you said there was two things.
And then the ego of the person to say, I've hit my limit. What if I don't have to do all of the aspects of real estate? What if I can hire? What if I can leverage out? What if I,
what am I good at?
What am I good at? And not necessarily what you're good at, but like, what's the value of your time, right? So like lead generation is the number one thing. If you're cleaning your house, you are driving and doing showings, like the low dollar per hour activities, which we harp on, like you guys, as top producers should be focused on the high driving activities, right? Like lead generation, relationship building. And so, where are those areas you can leverage out for $20, $30 an hour that will free up your time, free up your mind,
100%,
and have clarity.
Carl White, who I follow with the Mortgage Market Animals Freedom Club, says the best thing he ever did was obviously to get domestic help.
Yeah. It's the first thing
to me, and I can't say everyone would agree with me. There's nothing better that when you come home and everything is taken care of, you can actually spend time with your kids. You can spend time with your spouse, because those chores are done. There are people who like doing those things who are better at it than you are.
Yep.
Let them go do those things, because you need to come home and you need to have that time, because why are you working so hard if you didn't want that time, right? I think why's your why? Everyone's first things everyone's going to say is their family, right?
Yeah.
Well, then work
hard.
If you're going to make the great money, take those other things out of your life so you can spend the quality time here and then get back to what you do really well.
Right.
But that was one of the things. So you're looking into the profitability part of it. So when you're interviewing agents who might want to come over and you select, I don't never like to use hire, because you're not hiring anyone. You're allowing them to join your team, and you want good people to come in. How do you present it? If you have someone's out there with some other brokerage, or maybe a new agent looking, how do you present that to them when you're having that little interview discussion with them?
Well, it starts out with, what are their pain points? Like, what are they looking for? I always say, like, there's a home for everybody. Like, no brokerage is necessarily better than the other in some regards. Who is the leadership? Like, why are you looking for a change? And what are you actually wanting to change in your business? Because changing your environment, like among big box brokerages, may not do anything, right? But like, why are you making the change? What are the pain points? And so we want to know that from them, because are we going to be able to help them? Like, if they've got a big ego, if they don't want to make changes and level up their life, like, we're not going to butter you up. Like, we're going to help you level up. So like, are you ready for the accountability? And it's a lot of just like questions of like what they want to get out of this, because if they're not ready for accountability, camaraderie, collective thinking and sharing, like we've become a tribe. Like, you are part of this tribe now. And it goes both ways. Like, you should want to be part of our group, and we should want to have you and like welcome you, and people should want to get excited. Like, wow, we've got another top producer in the room. Like, they're going to add so much value. But if someone is, I have a really big problem with ego, right? We turned away a $10 million producer, a few weeks ago because they just didn't have the right attitude. And so
they immediately came in as if they know.
Well, they wanted to. And then when we talked to them, there was and not that, if you have an ego, that you shouldn't come in, like there's changes you can make and you see outside of it. Like, top producers, like, you
Most
can have an ego,
people
right?
have some sort
they
of
do.
ego.
That gets them through, and like they're proud of that. I get that. But when you're like, I don't have any growth to do, no one's going to teach me anything that I don't already know, like, that's not
time out.
Time out. And so it just wasn't a good fit. And so we're looking for the cultural fit. We're looking for that we can actually help them, right? Like, do they have pain points, or do they want to just change their environment? Like, change your room, change your mind, change your world.
Right.
Are they excited about that versus just like, oh, I don't know what I want. Like, you have to know why you're making the change, or else it's not going to do you any service.
So
there's a lot of conversations.
A lot of conversation, and what it leads into, you and John are big on personal development. He's told me he's brought in some guest speakers. It's very important to them. Most, as I'm sure you would agree, but I think, what are you, 31?
Yeah.
30. Most 31-year-olds don't want to hear anything about personal development.
Right.
Where along the line did you and John, or is this just came naturally because you guys are Summa and Magna, where you guys just love reading books and just were picking up and just chewing through books and just started getting into the business and personal development books? You just enjoyed them, kept going? Or was there a point where you're like, oh my, this is some good stuff, and then you go read the next book, you go to the next event, you go,
Yeah. I mean,
what
no
turned
doubt.
that light on for you?
Like, so definitely the interactions at our previous brokerage with our coaches. Like, we sought out the top coaches that they see your blind spots. They get you out of a funk. They get you to that next point. I'll call out, like, Aaron Hurd was as a top buyer's agent coach. Elizabeth Curry is currently my coach. She's changed my life. John had some amazing coaches as well. And so, you know, when you're in that rat
another
race,
tip for everyone, another successful person telling you they have a coach.
Yes.
Yes.
The moments that I have changed my life, changed my business, changed my world is because I had a mentor or a coach getting me out of my hole. And, or also checking my ego at the door, being like, but you didn't do what you said you were going to do. And so that, like, so I think it came from that, like, being around the right people and the right environment and the community where people wanted that, which is what we wanted to create at Momentum, right? So, like, you're saying, I want more, I want to be more, I want to do more. Like, who else is in that mind frame? Right. And, like, it's okay to want that. And it's okay to find those people that are going to push you up and lend down a rope and say, and like-minded, and it changes everything. Yeah. And so it was getting in that right frame of mind. And that's exactly what we wanted to create at Momentum, is getting all the top producers in a room and saying, what can we do together? They're collaborative. They're constantly posting and helping each other every day with their issues, and no one's seeing each other as competition. They're competitive. Like, we just did a listing competition and, like, they blew it out of the water. But I'm getting messages from other agents being like, wow, she killed it. Like, Beatrice just won our listing competition. And other people that were so close are like, man, she's a rock star, right? Like, get yourself in a room where people are lifting you up and praising you for success, not wanting to tear you down.
How do you, because I've had Ella on, very young person, and then we talked about Madison at the beginning of the show. Now, I don't know if they came in. I know, I sat down and spoke with Ella. Obviously, she has a degree and, very successful college athlete in golf and so forth. How do you get your team in that personal development, getting better? And personal development's a wide variety of things. Yeah. It could be reading books. It could be listening to podcasts, audio books. It could be going to different events. How do you get them in that mindset that you're self-employed, I know you're going to agree with this statement. The only thing stopping you is you.
Oh yeah.
How do you get them in that focus, inner self? I need to get better. I need to, surround myself with great people. How do you get them in that mindset? Or a lot of the people you're bringing in already in that mindset? We'll pass on that question and go to the next one.
It's chicken or the egg, because like, the community that, I don't even want to say, like, John and I built, like, we're the first people that introduced the idea, right? But, like, and we post a video about, like, the followers, like the courageous followers that come in, like the first crew of people that believed in the mission and like came over and wanted to be in a different room and said, there's a problem here. No one's talking about profitable businesses, right? Like, it's all the high level sales involved. How many units? Well, what does it do at the end of the day if it's not, like, moving the needle forward in your wealth? Yeah. And so I want to say that they have to make the change, right? Like, so it starts with, like, the person putting everything aside and saying, I want more. And, like, their mindset has to change before they're willing to take the first step.
Yes.
But then, so when you say, like, are we doing that at Momentum? Like, it became a collective thing of, like, these are the desires of the people. Like, we work for them. Like, you want this? Fine, we'll put this in place, right? Like, you want to bring in these type of speakers, you want to have book club. All right. Oh, this person is doing these things and they're driving their business this way. Let's have them on. Let's have a conversation. And so it's like listening to the people, because they are like, they're doing it themselves because they wanted to make a change in the beginning. So it's chicken and a little bit, like, started what? Like, the environment brought them in, or they came in and then it became this environment? Like kind
will attract like kind.
Correct.
Yes.
Top producers want to be around top producers.
But you're doing it at such a high level, it seems.
Yeah.
Now, maybe it's because, as John said, I forget what number, he threw out some numbers of people that called want to be part of the crew. And then you'll go and talk to them and find out how many you actually bring in. Maybe you're being right from the get-go. You formed Momentum being very selective of who you were going to bring in. As you mentioned, actually, I think early in the show, we don't just have an open door. Hey, you got a license, great.
We have standards. Yeah, we don't negotiate away our standards for the expense of, like, filling a quota. Like, if I knew that our crew was, like, having amazing results and, like, it is the formation of what it is right now, I don't need to add another person. So I think that's, like, the huge difference in our communities. Like, I don't need to add another body just to, add, like, for the sake of adding people.
Right.
Like, it's already beautiful the way it is. Like, we can elevate it and we can bring in more people into the conversation, but like, I don't need to add another person.
I mean, would you say,
unless they're going to change everybody
else's
life.
I'm going to say, you guys are very young. Most, and even me at 52, Wednesday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. A lot of times we're impatient. And the average person would say, I'm going to start a mortgage. I'm going to start let's just say mortgage brokerage or a real estate brokerage. I'm going to get 100 agents under me, and they're just going to go out and get what they get and tear it up.
Yeah.
Versus you guys have been very kind of patient and selective, because I imagine, a lot of people have started kitchen, not more than when you started, because obviously your reputation's gotten out there, and a lot of people are coming to you, and you're being selective, but you're not running your business out of an anxiety, this drive to say you're big.
Yeah.
You're more, you are patient enough to get the quality.
Yeah.
If I can, that's what I'm seeing. Are you guys seeing it yourself, or am I seeing it from the 52-year-old looking down on these 31-year-olds?
We're very so I think it's
not
twofold.
looking down.
No. It's fine.
Age-wise, I'm looking.
So we are very, it's not me. Like, I am called the culture keeper in the organization. I don't stand for drama. I don't stand for,
You're an auditor. Of course you don't stand for drama.
Well, yeah. Like, I don't deal with all that. Like, I don't want it in my life. I don't want it in my business. Like, don't come here if that's what you're going to bring. Like, but so, I get uncomfortable talking about this sometimes, and I shouldn't, because the world needs to have that's what our mission is. Like, our mission is to build wealth through real estate, whether it's our agents or our clients. And I think, like, there's a huge differentiator with us, is because we're financially free. We're not doing this for profit's sake. We're doing this to change lives. And like, this is our purpose, and like helping people realize like the potential that you can have and like what's possible.
You're now into the changing of legacies of many families.
Yeah.
At first it was you, and now you're realizing you're hopefully projecting these people taking different trajectories that they never would have had the advantage of, but because you guys have interacted with them, now they're on a trajectory totally different than probably what they ever imagined.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen what's possible in this realm, and like what can be done if you put the right systems in place, the right mindset, the right people. But I think it comes down to like, what is the intention of the brokerages? And no doubt there are some amazing brokerages and amazing brokers, and we've just been really disappointed in the people we've come across, because like I said, like there's an ill motive, like a motive that doesn't belong with us. Like it's just a different reason. So it's the having wealth, the building wealth, and then saying like, we can do it, you can do it too. But the intent is very different. Like our rentals cover our expenses. Like we've built investment properties. We've, become financially free through real estate sales. And so like you
guys had, an education, a mindset, and I don't know if it was prior family as well. You guys started off very young and understanding, and John's a numbers guy. You're a numbers lady.
We're so focused on it.
And hey, and can make educated, reasonable, rational decisions based on, as John put the dollar plan in front of you, and you jumped over into real estate. What mistakes have you guys made so far? Because I know you will agree, being someone who's big into personal development, you really learn through failure a lot of times. Just you don't have to name multiple. Just name something like right off that. Hey, at first, we started doing this and realized that's not the way to do it.
Not hiring team members early enough, because we said, well, we can do it all, right? And it drove us to our breakdown.
How long did that? Like a year?
Yeah. So, we had Evelyn 2019, like we were on top of the world 2018, right? A leading sales team. But, John and I would meet up with like, hey, have you had dinner? It's 10 o'clock. Like, no, I need to do more contracts. Like, I'll meet you at the bar and we'll eat dinner, and then we'll just like work. Right. So,
right. feast or famine, though. Feast or famine.
So like
but you guys had to do a lot of the feasting yourselves. You didn't have anybody else to eat the meal.
Right. And so then it was, we had our daughter, and all our coaches and all the people were saying is, who do you have in place? Who do you have in place? Like, if you disappeared tomorrow, and I was like, oh, we'll figure it out. We'll come to find out that one person can't run the level of business when I had a baby. So not hiring people early enough, like building your bench.
Because you will go through some people, possibly. Maybe you get lucky and hire the right person.
But at least we've met them ahead of time to like work out the kinks versus, so like always being in reactive mode, right? Like, we had very tunnel vision. Like, we saw the game. Like, this is how you conquer the game.
You waited till it started to cost you business.
Yes. Well, I wouldn't say it cost us business. It cost us our lifestyle. It cost us our health. John broke his back.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, and then we had to make some changes, and we were saying there's got to be another way. Like, there's another way to do this.
So a week ago, I had George come with Keller Williams.
Oh yeah.
George said number one thing, actually him and Kelly said that they didn't attack their sphere of influences early enough. They went into the system that Christina had put forth, and they were working it, were doing really well, and really didn't pay much attention to those they know and love and trust already. So that was a tip last week, guys, on the podcast. Start on your circle of influence earlier. Secondly, because you just heard it, you've got to start going, hey, I'm starting to reach a lid. Don't hit the lid and keep hitting the lid and keep hitting the lid, because now you're so busy. You're like, oh, I just don't have time to interview somebody. I don't have time to train somebody.
You will when it all crumbles because you didn't do it.
Right. So you don't know what business you may have possibly lost, or maybe just simply the transaction wasn't as great for that one family or two families or whatever it was for a year. And who knows what referrals you could have gotten out of them. Maybe they won't refer you because maybe your transaction one is as good as it could have been.
Yeah.
If you had some help.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's really...
So leverage. I'm trying to think what else, because we're very purposeful and we're very reactive. So we're data people. Everything's in spreadsheets. We are constantly evaluating our budget. We will go through all of our bank accounts and all of our credit cards, put it in a log, look at what we're wasting money on. And that just goes for the business and personal. So very intentional. So I wouldn't say there's a lot of mistakes in that way, because we are if something's not giving you a 3 to 4 return, okay, turn it off or fix it. Intentional every month, every quarter, looking at the goals, looking at what needs to change. And so, but honestly, if I look back, the biggest trend was leverage. Not getting out of your own way and scaling and building because you could.
Do you think it's the trust or the realization is I am good at this and my business is going to keep growing, because you already had a trend of a growing business between the two of you. I mean, you guys were great.
Yeah.
And it's just the realization is if I want this to continue growing like it did the last 3 years for the next 3 years, I need to start planning to get those transaction coordinators or whatever it is that you're showing assistance or whatever it may be.
Yeah, it's stepping back to go forward, and people don't just halt, take a step back.
Again, I'm going to go back to Carl White. Would you rather have the entire grape or part of the watermelon?
Ooh,
that's
right. Good.
All right. Good. So now let's dig into momentum here. We've got about 15 minutes left here. And this is I copied this directly. You sent me your website. And I didn't know what exactly you wanted me to do, because there was a bunch of stuff on there.
Oh, it was our mission.
And I broke down the mission statement here. Momentum Realty, move with momentum.
Move with momentum.
Now, that has many different things about it. Is that a move with momentum? Is that really talking to the buyers, or is that talking to your agents to move forward in their business? What was that intended? Who was that originally intended for?
It just evolved naturally in conversation, but now that I'm thinking about it,
I'll chalk that out one up. John, write me a check then.
Yeah, I mean, it can be both, right? We went into this business to change the way real estate was done. That can be for the end user, which is the buyers and sellers. It can be for the vendor partners. It can be for the agents, all the relationships. Ever evolving into all the different spheres of real estate.
From a marketing standpoint, if I'm recruiting, move with momentum. We're going to move you forward in your career and trajectory of life, and then obviously move in buying a house and so forth.
I will literally call up people where I see that their sales are flat, and I'm like, all right, what's going on? Like what hasn't changed, or what do you need in your life to move the needle? Or like, and maybe you're happy, maybe they're satisfied with that, but I pay attention to that. Like, you're around people that are pushing you forward.
All right. So a clear mission, vision, and perspective. So we're going to break that down.
Okay.
So a clear mission, vision, and perspective. Mission, prove such exceptional and I actually cut this down a little bit.
Okay.
Mission, prove such exceptional
Provide.
service that we earn referrals and reviews.
Yeah. We're very big into you're doing what you're doing to grow your bit. Like, it's purposeful. So that you're providing such a high level of service that people just naturally want to help you succeed and want to drive your business by giving you repeat and referrals.
You were talking to loan officers out there and you said, put it out there.
Yeah.
Tell them that, hey, I'm looking to serve 100 families this year, or whatever the number is.
And then people rise to help you.
And instinctively they do.
Right.
I've heard that on other podcasts or shows, where I know there's one I was watching. The guy actually, called he was trying to get referral agents. He's a loan officer, and he called out and said, man, I'm just trying to I want to do 10 million in loans this month. Can you help me out? And actually end up doing like 14.
There you go.
It's out in California, but same concept.
The world will
put
help
it
you.
out there and ask. Tell them this is what I'm trying to do. I want to be the best. I want to provide the best service. I'm not providing the best service. Tell me why I'm not providing. Tell me, please. I want to know.
Like, we have our raving fans, and our raving fans will hear people in a restaurant having conversations about real estate. Be like, I don't care who you're using. I don't care if you already have someone.
Right.
You need to call up John and Brett. Like you need these people in your life because they know how much we change theirs.
My podcast coach is big on networking, and I've mentioned this on the show periodically before. He came out and said that The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, will make more off his tequila than he did wrestling or with the movies, simply because he had the raving fans that you just mentioned.
I believe that.
And then whenever he says, go buy that tequila, they will all go buy that tequila.
And tell me what you think, right? He doesn't want a subpar product.
Right.
I want to know what's going on.
He's
I want
really
to
only
make sure.
putting his name on it
Oh,
for the most part. I mean, he's involved a little bit
Reputation
of marketing.
is huge.
Vision through exceptional service. So again, mentioning exceptional service, just like mission, help our community build wealth through real estate.
Yep.
So when you say community, again, we go back with move with momentum. You're now talking about our community. Yeah. So you're again, another universal word there. The buyers are, sellers of your homes. You're helping them get the most money out of the sale, or maybe making a wise investment there, but also the momentum community.
Yeah. It's so cool.
God, I am. Oh man, I'm on it today.
I know. No, I'm so proud of them. I'm actually having lunch with someone this week just to celebrate her. She became a net worth millionaire through her investments in real estate, changing lives, like paying off debt, right? Like paying off debt, being able to do things for their family they never thought possible. And that goes for agents and the community, like the buyers and sellers, or even just partners. Like it's anybody that has an interest in real estate. Like, how can you grow through this field, and how can you build generational wealth through this field? I mean, like, it's the last frontier. Like, there's so much that can be done. Like the possibilities are endless.
All the great billionaires, all real estate is somewhere in their.
And we're actually talking about it. Like, we will praise the people that are doing it. Like, that's the end goal. Like, we constantly talk about, like, you're in real estate to get out of real estate, which is a very controversial conversation. Like, I would really challenge the people, unless you absolutely love it and you're like, I will live and breathe and die by real estate every day. But the people that I hear, I've been in this business 20 to 30 years, I question, all right, what went wrong? Why are you still in this? Unless you absolutely, I get it. Like, I would be a buyer's agent
it is
forever.
definitely something you can do till you die. I mean, at some level, whether you do it casually, you've built up such a referral. People call you and say, hey, will you list my house? Because you've just been doing it so long. I mean, we all know those agents who. But
you do it because you want to do it, not that you have to do it, because you've built up a rental portfolio that pays your living expenses. Right. You've built up properties that are cash flowing and giving you a lifestyle that you desire. Like, what are you doing with the money? Are you blowing it on material items, or are you investing in it so that you can get out of it, out of real estate?
Perspective. We partner with passionate, growth-minded professionals who have drive, integrity, and ability to serve others at the highest level.
You are who you surround yourself with.
Oh, that's huge right there.
Yeah.
There's one obviously common theme mentioned in every show. The top agents is who you surround yourself. You have the ability to choose who you want to surround yourself directly, because you're inviting these people into the Momentum family.
Yep.
And these are, 180 plus strong right now. Or
yeah. 183.
183. Now they're all over the state, or how? Because they're all not right here in.
No, so I believe it's like 14 locations, but throughout Florida, we're actually expanding into Georgia very soon. But if I go Pensacola all the way down the East Coast, Daytona, Palm Coast, St. Augustine, and then Tampa, Orlando. So our biggest hub is Gainesville. We're now a top 10 brokerage in Gainesville with that crew.
No office.
We have one office legally.
That
we're supposed to have.
Your one business address.
Correct.
So these people are joining your crew, joining Momentum from around the country, and they're not coming to an office every day. They're being motivated at a high level, and even being at home, which everyone dreams of that. Some people can do it, some people can't. That's very special. It happened
unexpectedly, and worked for us. COVID was terrible in so many ways. But it changed the game for us in terms of scaling our business, because we had all these plans for brick and mortar, all these plans for in-person training to get in the environment, right? Like in the physical environment. Yeah. And COVID, we opened January 2020, we couldn't do it. And so we had to go virtual, and we realized there's something here, because we were recording all of our coaches speaking, all of our, oh my gosh, sorry, I lost my phrase. All the people that we brought in for training. So all of our trainings, we were recording all of our trainings, all of the motivational speakers, all the people coming in to, hoorah everybody and corral everybody. And we recorded it, and top producers are in the field. They're not in the office. Right. And we realized, well, they can go back and watch everything, and they can be in the conversation remotely and digitally. And so COVID, I can't even believe
it's very special.
Happened.
To sit down and study what you guys are doing,
virtual.
To keep it going, and doing it in the virtual realm, is just unique in there. You guys created the Ascend brokerage for the new agents.
Yes.
So one thing I think you mentioned in some notes that you sent me, what is next for Momentum and Ascend? What's going on there?
Yeah. So, I touched on, we're expanding into Georgia. There was a desire from our agents to cross the border just because we're so close. We also have some top producers that want us to expand into Georgia. So we, hear their call, and we listen, and we make it happen. Ascend Group. So, I think John had touched on this. We turn away about 20 plus new agents a month previously, just because we didn't have the structure set up. We were a environment for top producers that already are making money, already have a business, and then how do you level up and scale your business, right? It's a different conversation. Different step. Well, what we decided to do is, we see a problem, right? Something's wrong here. If we're turning all these people away that are newer, but we can help them. We know we can help them. So we brought all of our champions, our cappers, essentially the top 5% at Momentum, the top people. They bought into this new company, and they are now the trainers. So at Ascend Group, you get access to all the top players as essentially your mentors, your guides, your teachers, your coaches.
Because they have the same mindset, a similar mindset to you and John, and the coaching mindset, consulting mindset. Because that's really what it is. You want someone who's going to tell you, hey, dude, you got pie on your face.
Yeah.
Seriously, we had a thing, because when I worked with Quicken Loans for the first 8.5 years of my career, Dan Gilbert saying up there, says the best friend you have is one who's going to tell you you have pie on your face. It's the ones that, or something in your teeth, leaf in your, whatever, food in your teeth. Those are the people who have your back. And if you have the mindset of everyone's trying, the rising tide raises all boats attitude, or ideology, that's what you guys have. Yeah. Really.
And it's a different investment.
If you can't take that, hey dude, you got pie in your face, and you get ticked off about it, maybe you shouldn't be there.
Yeah. We call each other out. Yeah. So it became a different investment opportunity for our champions, AKA the cappers at Momentum. And now we are purchasing a commercial apartment complex, so 30 plus units. They have access to different
several of you investors,
all the champions,
and others,
right?
some other
So like
top
it
interesting.
allows different investment opportunities through our network, where it's like, okay, like you've gotten to this level, you're now essentially they're not accredited, but that's a whole finance word. But you know, the goal is that you're hitting $1 million net worth or more. The goal is that you are performing at a high level. You get access to now different conversations, different investment opportunities. And so, you know, Momentum's paving the way for things to do that other brokerages aren't. Like, they're not having these conversations on wealth building and lifestyle change and personal development. And we hear what they want and we say, okay, how can we do that as leaders? Who can we bring in? And that's it.
I'm just, if you were watching the camera, I was somewhat shaking my head because it's in disbelief, actually.
I'm in disbelief.
What you just said, and what you just said is that you know your top people who have been there. What'd you call them?
The champions.
Champions,
yeah.
right?
The Momentum champions.
So
they have ownership in the company now.
And some others, Jody Casella and so forth.
Yep.
Are getting together by apartment complex together.
Yeah.
And this is not happening. I'm telling you right now that I know it may, and I'm not gonna say it's not happening anywhere else because I don't know everything.
Yeah, I don't know everything.
I probably could bet it's not.
I bet it's not.
But with the brilliance of you and John, that if I was on that team, I'd be like, yes, if John and Brittany have already done the evaluation on this and they presented it to us, I'm in.
So
that is some amazing.
I appreciate the brilliance term, and we've done it before. So John and I are invested in a 150 unit, another 30 unit, and so we're saying,
now you
what's
put
possible?
you're
and we
giving the opportunity.
We put down the rope and we say, come on up.
Exactly.
There's light. Like there's things that are possible that people don't even know yet.
Well, you know, that's because everyone says, oh, it's lonely at the top. Yeah, because you haven't
is.
reached down and helped someone get up there with you. That's
Yeah.
why it's lonely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like people say money can't buy happiness. Well, you haven't given enough away.
Oh, money. Okay, so I've been sitting on this for a while, and
Okay,
I have to put this in the world. You said money can't buy happiness. I'm ready for this. Okay, so I've been really festering on this. I don't know necessarily that money can't buy happiness. Like, I get it, but there's an evolution, right? So money buys options, options buy freedom, and that freedom leads to happiness.
I love it. I love it. I'm going to have to clip that right out. That's a reel right there.
I've been waiting to tell that to the world.
I'm going to actually, I always ask this question on every podcast. Is it more important who you know or what you know?
Oh, I mean, I watched my husband's on this.
Yes.
Well, okay. So
he studied it. I think he had a prepared answer.
Who knows
if I
what
recall
you
correctly.
know, right?
Well, your career. I mean, just think
right.
about.
So I honestly,
because you're a very smart person. So some people think, oh, she's a book smart person, so she's going to say it's what you know automatically, but that's not necessarily true.
So my default, if I had to choose between the two, it would be what you know, because by having the education, by having the knowledge to then go out and provide value to the world, that's important to me. The relationships and who knows what you know.
Can we say it this way? When John presented it to you, because of your knowledge and expansion, as you know, especially in the accounting and numbers, your eyes, because of your knowledge, John was able to present that to you. Because if you didn't have that, a lot of people would have looked at that opportunity, even if they were in the same financial situation, but without your background, would have gone, yes, let's take that risk. Let's jump into that. So your knowledge led you to open your eyes, which opened doors. For sure. Yeah. Okay. I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
The knowledge brought the trust that I knew what I was talking about, and the trust to choose me as their agent. Because I educate people on the forefront. Like, I'm asking questions, I'm the consultant, I'm figuring out what the pain points are to then educate them. And then they say, okay, let's build the relationship.
I'm going to finish this up because you have a lot of notes there.
Oh, this was just talking. I mean, we hit everything.
Right. Did we hit everything?
Yeah, we did.
No, so let's finish up. I want you just to finish up because I know you guys are very passionate about momentum, and you do have a unique niche, so to speak, or at least what your ideology, your vision is. So new agents or existing agents who are possibly looking to make a swing, because if they're not getting value where they're at, they're going to go somewhere where there's value. What is that value that you're going to bring either a new agent or an existing agent at Momentum?
I mean, this tribe has become beyond anything I could have even imagined. And so I'm a proponent of you are who you surround yourself and change your mind, change your world, like in mind as in mindset. And you may be doing all the right things and maybe you aren't, but you want to get into a different room with people that lift you up. You know, it doesn't have to be a struggle. It doesn't have to be the hustle culture, right? Like,
you're going to help them work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, there's different ways, and it's almost like I want to grab everybody and be like, I want you to see the light. Like, come on, like see the light. And I don't mean at Momentum. I mean like, yes, of course, it's my company. I'm proud of it. It's our baby. But I want you to see that there's another way, and it doesn't have to be painful. And there are people, like, it doesn't have to be cutthroat and competitive. And there are people who can love on you and uplift you and hold you accountable. Like, everybody's in different pods at Momentum. Like, I could cry like every week, the things that people are saying to each other. Like, it's a beautiful thing. And so
I'm with you.
If you want to get into a different environment, challenge what's working and not working.
I'm going to sum it all up. You know, I spoke to John and I spoke to Brittany now in length and where they're at. In a lot of the top people that we're talking about, if you are not moving forward, take a deep thought, take this evening and really think about you. What can you, because as you just said, there's not competitive agents out there. Yeah. Yes, there's a number, but you can't do all the deals.
Competition is great.
And you're paid so well, you don't need all the deals. You want enough deals that you can hopefully change the trajectory of your legacy and your kids. Focus on yourself. Some of us have a bigger hole than others. My hole is probably much bigger than hers ever will be to fill working on myself. Think about that. The personal development. Listen to a podcast, read a book, get the positive mojo.
Yeah.
Get it.
Atomic Habits, 1% better every day.
Atomic
just
Habits.
One tweak, small tweaks.
The book referral right there, Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits. And then, we talked this morning about extreme ownership. And, you either win as a team or you die as a team. And you're either 100% support or 100% sabotage. And
the mojo will spread.
The mojo will
overflow from one to others if you're surrounding yourself.
You are the people you surround yourself with. So really challenge, are they bringing you up or are they putting you down?
Brittany, brilliant show.
Thanks.
A lot of good stuff out of there. There will be a lot of sound bites. I know your husband will be cutting this thing. I know there's some really great stuff. I appreciate you coming on.
Thanks.
Thank you.